Okay guys, welcome back then, Fast Ship Performance. My name is Tim Davies, and for 20 years I was a fighter pilot in the Royal Air Force, and for all those years I pretty much had a significant drink problem. And when I came out of the Royal Air Force I expected that to stop, but it never did. And so after about 5 years of being out, trying to do whatever I can, trying to stop that, trying to get control of it, you know how it goes guys, I stopped on the 1st of January last year. So I'm about 12 months clear, and people have been asking me in the comments, guys, any tips, Tim, that kind of stuff, you know, whole kind of thing. And I have got some. I've written down on my phone here. There we go. I've written down a load of stuff on my phone, and so for the next 10 minutes, maybe we'll just go through this. So I've got a wet. No worries, I've got a wet, got a tea, and hopefully I'll just give you things that I wish someone had kind of told me before I stopped drinking last year. I would just say quickly as well, this isn't for you, this isn't the video for you. If you're not looking to stop drinking, don't worry about it. There's lots of other videos out there. This is an aviation-based channel. I just happen to put content in, hopefully that people find useful. It's not embarrassing for me, and I want that to make that clear to you as well. It's not embarrassing for me to share these experiences with you, and I wish other people would do the same. It just doesn't work for me. Alcohol doesn't work for me, and it really, really fucking did work really well for me for a very long period of time. So I'm not hating on people who drink. I'm not hating on people who don't drink. I have no skin in the game. I'm not selling a course to you, all right? I'm going to try and keep this to 10 minutes. So I better get on with it. Right. In the comments, guys, by the way, tell me if you think these are relevant or not, or tell me what you're doing, what your plans are, because it really helps. The community really helps. And if you want to go over the last 2 videos where I talk about this, there's some fantastic comments. There's some fantastic people in the comments as well. I would really read some of those. You get a lot of energy from that. And that brings me to the first point then. On the 1st of January, if you are thinking of stopping on the 1st of January, it's a great time to stop. Everybody tries to stop on the 1st of January. It's niche as fuck, all right? It really is. I know it's kind of niche, but it's people go, oh, 1st January, everyone's stopping. Yeah, there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. It just kind of works, because what you'll find on social media as you go through, like, it's cliched, isn't it? Not niche, it's cliched. Is you'll find that people, like, after week 2 go, I'm 2 weeks clear, and then 4 weeks clear, and I'm 6 months clear. And if you've also stopped on the 1st, you'll get energy from that. I'm not a massively spiritual person, all right? I'm a bit of a logical kind of brain, a bit ADHD, whatever, that kind of stuff. But I also felt when I stopped on the 1st that there were other people that were also stopping, that were also in the game. And I just kind of didn't really want to let them down. Sounds weird. I don't know who they are. I just felt that, and I can't really explain it. But it's like when I'm struggling in the gym, and I'm kind of into the gym now, although I haven't been for like the last month. I feel that as well. When I'm giving up on my workout, I think, well, maybe there's another guy across the other side of the world giving up as well. Let's just do a few more press-ups for that dude, all right? I know it's weird. I don't expect you to understand it, but people are doing the same thing. There's a lot of content comes out in January from people like myself probably, but in, you know, these women magazines and stuff. You know, I've stopped drinking for 4 days and I feel better than ever. You know how I feel about that. That's bollocks. If you feel better after 4 days, you and I are not the same people, because it took me, well, I still don't feel better, and I've stopped for a year. Yeah, so as the year goes on, you will get some aspect of validation if you stop on the 1st of January. You know, if you miss the 1st, I get it, 110%, don't worry about it. Stop on the 3rd, stop on the 6th, all right? I did that for many years, by the way. I'll stop on the 1st. Got to the 1st, I'll have a few beers, I'll stop in week 2, I'll stop in February. I'll tell you what, I'll stop the 1st of March then, because January, February, March. So I'll stop the 1st of April, because then I've got 9 months. Yeah, I'll stop in June, and you never do, and you waste the year. So, you know, January, anywhere in January is a pretty good time, but the 1st is really good. And if you're struggling with people about stopping because you don't want to tell them, and I would advocate you not telling people, by the way, and there's a couple of reasons for you not telling people that you're stopping drinking, and the partners and everything else are included in this, guys. And the reason for that is your brain, if you have a business plan or something and you think, I'm going to start this, I'm going to do this, your brain, if you tell someone, your brain thinks you've kind of already started to do it, and gives you less impetus to actually start that project you're going to do. And it's the same thing with stopping drinking. If you tell people you're stopping drinking before you stop drinking, I know that people will advocate for that and say, tell the world, and then you've got, yeah, I just felt the pressure for me was too much to do that personally. So I just kept it quiet. There's a lot to be said for doing the work behind closed doors. Tell people that you're having a dry January. That's great. And at the end of January, you can say, you know what, I'm going to give it another couple more weeks. String people the fuck along, all right? They'll do the same thing to you. This is your issue, not their issue. Don't let them destabilize you, because people will. And that brings me on to my 3rd point, I think. Yeah, people will try and stop you. When I stopped smoking, maybe 15 years ago now, very quickly, people start offering me cigarettes. And they never offered you cigarettes before. Cigarettes are expensive, right? But when I stop, people start saying, hey, Tim, you coming out for smoke, mate? I've got some. No, I'm stopping for a bit. You know, no, mate, come on. You know, that was the first time. People don't want you to leave them behind. You're not leaving them behind. Everyone's on their own journey. That's really important. Don't judge everyone by your own standards. And people will judge you by theirs, but let it go. The worst you can do is harbour some kind of resentment towards people around you. It's nothing to do with them, mate. It's to do with you. That's the fact. It's to do with you. You've got to embrace the suck on this one a little bit. All right. You're developing in a way that they will probably have to at some point. Remember, everybody gives up drinking at some point. It could be on the day they die, and that does happen to people, and it was happening to me. I had a lot of pain down the right-hand side here. There's many reasons for that. Ileocecal valve, there's swelling in the body, and I couldn't lie on that side. But I kept drinking through all that shit because I'm a fucking idiot, right? And then when I stopped, it does go away. The body heals. That's because you're drinking a poison, and I'm not that guy that's going to hammer you on that, because I've fucking been there, mate. You know what I mean? I've fucking been there, you know. I just want to kind of be passing to you now some kind of, you know, like a man to a man type thing, a man to a woman type thing, just a person to person. Like, I wish you could be where I am now and feel what I'm feeling now, and you would stop. But I'm not saying that you should stop. I'm also saying that it's very individual. And also, don't get me wrong, I'm not running around completely happy. No, I'm fucking not. I'll get onto that in a minute. AA is there to help people. I know lots of people that have been to AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. I didn't go. I'm a solo cat. I don't have many friends. I work behind closed doors. I work by myself. I teach people online. I didn't want to spend my evenings talking about drinking after I spent my evenings drinking. It's a common excuse. I've read the 12 steps. I've read the book. And I know it's valuable. I really do know it's valuable. So I'm not belittling that whatsoever. It works so well for so many people. It just wasn't me. It just wasn't me, guys. That's all I'm saying. It wasn't me. That's not to say it isn't you. And look, I get accused sometimes, Tim, you didn't go to AA because you don't want to embarrass yourself. I've got fucking 35,000 subscribers, mate. And I'm telling them I was a fast jet pilot, drinking alcohol. I'm embarrassed enough about that. Don't get me wrong. So AA or solo it and then go to AA. It doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. I've got a friend of mine, and whenever she travels, she always goes to a meeting, no matter what. The last meeting she went to was in New York. She just went to a meeting in New York. That's the great thing about AA. You can just drop in any time when you're feeling vulnerable, and you will feel vulnerable, and you need to allow yourself to feel vulnerable, and I will cover that point in a second. You will get some weight loss, but don't do it for weight loss, because you'll fucking eat your way out of this one, and I did that as well. One of the worst pieces of advice I ever got, and this was back in 2016, actually, when I stopped, thinking I'll stop drinking 2016. I was in the military at the time. I had a full year without drinking, flew jets. I was probably the worst pilot ever, flying jets sober, to be fair. Just was. A friend of mine said, look, make sure you have a lot of sugar, because you're going to have that low, because alcohol has a lot of sugar in it. So make sure you have a lot of sugar in your diet. And so I drank Coke. I didn't even like Coke. I drank loads of Coke, got loads of chocolate. And I just went through these fucking sugar high lows throughout the year. Misery. One of my top tips, guys, don't listen to people that say you've got to take in sugar or that kind of bollocks. Fucking cut it out. Look, here's the thing. You're stopping drinking, all right? It's going to suck. And that's one of my last points. It's going to suck. And yeah, embrace the suck, everything else, Jocko Willink, we get all that kind of shit, all right? You can do it if you want to. I don't think it's healthy, by the way, but I get it. I'm not belittling that at all. Sugar, if you take in sugar, is going to make it 10 times worse. Now, not to say you shouldn't have a day here, and I've got down here a day a week where you can eat whatever you want. I make that Saturday, I call it Fatterday. It's a Tim Ferriss 4-hour work week technique. On Saturday, eat whatever you want, but try and have what I would call a 70s diet during the week. So, you know, your meat, your veg, your potatoes, keep it as clean as you can. You'll heal a lot faster because you are ill. This is like me gaslighting all my subs, and I'm not trying to do that at all. Look, the best way I can describe this, and the best way I found out of dealing with this, is recognize the fact that really you are quite ill at the moment. Fuck, I've done it again. And I'm not gaslighting. I'm trying to find a better word. Look, you're not well. It doesn't work. Fucking hell, David, you cock, mate. Your body's not functioning how it should function right now, because you've just been plowing the beers or the wine or the spirits or whatever it is. You've got to heal. That means you've got to go to bed sometimes, because that's how the body heals. And I fucking hate sleeping. I'm not a fan. I don't want to be in bed. I don't want to be in sleep. I hate it. But sometimes when I'm ratty as a tiger, I've got to go and curl up in my pit. if you'd injured yourself hunting a saber-toothed tiger back in the day, being chased by dinosaurs and shit, you'd go back to your cave, you'd roll the stone across, and you'd heal in your cave. You have damaged yourself in the brain, in the body. You don't realize it, right? You know, of course, I understand it. I didn't realize it either. You've got to heal. How can we heal better? Lots of water. I fucking hate water. I have to drink lots of water. I drink tea as well, mate. Not being funny. I drink tea. I drink tea. Water. Eat as healthily as you can. Protein with every meal. I know. Okay, fine. You don't want to eat lots of protein. I get it. Try and limit the simple carbohydrates, the pastas and stuff, because you're going to get that blood sugar rise. Just complex carbs, all right? Just drag it out. Bin the cereals, that kind of shit. Treat yourself how you'd want to treat a friend who was really badly damaged. Like, how are you going to nurse that person back to health? And you will recover quicker. I mean, I've been there. I know it. I'm not lying to you, all right? Just really try and look after yourself. That means sometimes you've got to get into bed. I hate being in bed. So the best thing I say to you is recognize the fact that you are ill. I'm not gaslighting you again. I'm just lying it straight. And you can recover that in a few weeks. The alcohol is out your system in like 4 days, 3 days, 4 days. The alcohol is not even in you in 4 fucking days. I mean, your neural pathways have got to rebuild themselves, and that's going to make you tapped, mate. I tell you what, that's going to blow your friggin' mind. It took me 10 and a half, 11 months before I started dreaming again, and those dreams are fucked up weird. However, they're still dreams. I didn't dream for 30 years. I was drinking since I was 18 years old. I'm 50 now, almost 50 next year. So, yeah, try and look after yourself. Early beds if you can. I hate it, but just do it. What's the point of being conscious when you're suffering this much pain? Honestly, sometimes I'm like, just fucking knock me the fuck out. Like, literally, I just need to go and be asleep now. That's your body saying to you, go to sleep, mate. Go to sleep. Just even do it during the day if you can. I remember when I was at Dartmouth as a naval officer, the Commodore there, Commodore Clare, lovely man actually, really nice man. He, at 2 o'clock every day, would have an hour to himself. You couldn't, he ran the college. You couldn't disturb him. Sometimes he read. Sometimes he probably crashed out for an hour because the man's up at like 5 in the morning. He's not going to bed like until like midnight because he's running the college. Okay, so take a leaf out of that guy's book. He knew what he was talking about. You've got to recharge, and especially when your brain is rebuilding those neural pathways, you've got to get some Z's in. I hate sleep. I'm telling you, go to bed. I fucking hate it myself. So, look, if you've been staying up late like I was, and there's something about suicide, I didn't want to talk about this because I have to be triggering some people now. Let's not be a dick about it. The majority of suicides happen later in the day. I've done some research on this. Men and women pretty much equal. 12 till 4 in the mornings when most suicides happen. Why? Because we're fucking blocked on alcohol or drugs or some shit. Your body needs to go to bed. Stop being a prick about it. After midday, suicides is the second most biggest time, and then before midday is the lowest time that suicides happen. So we're going to sort ourselves out. We're not going to drag out the days when we don't want to be conscious. Go to bed. I hate going to bed. Here's the thing. If you just clean your teeth after you've had your evening menu, like you've had some menu at say 6 or 8 o'clock, whatever, clean your teeth then. It stops you eating shit food. It preps your mind for bed, and then go to bed, get the covers up, get your phone out and go and scroll Instagram or do whatever you do on your phone, or get a book on, it doesn't matter, and just be in bed. I'm not even joking. That's a top tip. It fucking works. I hate the fact I have to do that, but it works for me. Guys, we've hit 14 minutes, but I've got another great 2 tips here, and I want to finish this, so I will, and I hate it. No one's going to watch this video. It'll be 15 minutes long. Fuck it. This happens to me all the time, doesn't it? Look, the gym. I wasn't a gym dude. I'm a gym guy now. I've got my weight stack here. I'll show you around my gym. I've got that's a car lift over there for the RS. I've got an RS4. Well, I've got loads of cars. Well, that sounds ridiculous. I've got cars I put on the lift so I can do some work on them. That's an MG midget down here. But the rest of the place is a gym. I bought some weights. I've got some mats down, some stable mats, horse stable mats. I can come out here and I can lift whenever I want to. And lifting helps. Pilates and shit helps if you're a woman. It really helps. You've got to flood yourself with water. You've got to be kind to yourself. You've been a prick to yourself for a long time. Now, I'm part fucking Viking. My history is Germanic. So for me, beers, I'm just like that. Yes, I'm just, you know what I mean? And now I've got to pick up iron instead. Guys, we can't do this forever. Well, you can, but I was dying. Like I'm under no illusion that I probably had maybe 3 or 4 years left. It was that bad, all right? It's fucking that bad. Liver tests and all sorts of weird shit. I've had liver tests since. The liver is a ninja. It will recover. Do yourself a favor and hit the comments if you want me to answer any individual shit, okay? If you want to go out and you want to hit the gym, no, not the gym, the bar, so you want to go to the pub, I would just give the pub a miss. I honestly would give the pub a miss. And the thing is, people are going to test you. Hey, do you want to come out? Your wife or your husband is going to test you. Don't be a dick about it. What I say is, look, I don't feel comfortable in that environment right now. I go now. I have that fizzy water, that San Pellegrino, is it? That kind of fizzy water shit. You can do non-alcoholic beers if you want. I do the non-alcoholic cider, non-alcoholic beer. I'm fine with it. I have 1 or 2 of those and you're done. Because when I was drinking like 14 beers a night, guys, I'll keep it short. I could drink 14 beers a night. I drink myself sober. A lot of nights I drink myself sober. Because the alcohol, right? You're dehydrated as a mother hubbard. Now, when you drink water all the time, you can only drink 2 or 3 pints and you're done. But yeah, I would bin the bars, bin the pubs initially, 3 or 4 weeks, maybe longer than that. You'll know when you're comfortable to go back in. And what I would say is go in the daytime, not the nighttime, the first time you go back in. Because I had rules. I never drank before 6 o'clock in the evening. So if I'm in a pub at like 2 in the afternoon, I'm not drinking anyway at 2 in the afternoon, right? So I would do that. And the last point then, I've got 2 more, really, I'll blend these 2 points. The last point, I've got written down here, guys. It's going to be shit. It's going to be shit. It's going to be shit. But don't forget, a lot of the companies that sell you alcohol want you to think it's shit, so you don't stop. They're going to go, oh, it's a nightmare giving up alcohol, so you don't stop. But it's going to be shit. It's going to feel horrible a lot of the time, and you're going to want to drink again. After 4 days, there's no alcohol in your system anyway. It's even earlier than that. It's actually about 48 hours, I think it is. Someone in the comments will tell me. But so there's no alcohol in your system. There's no reason for you to drink. It's just those neural pathways. And what I found, guys, here's a real top one for you. Initially, what I found was that me being uncomfortable with drinking was quite low level but constant. Like, I'm really agitated forever. Like, hours on end, days on end, weeks on end, months on end. I'm just agitated. I'm uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable. I feel homesick. That's my thing, like deep homesick, like you had when you were 8 years old. That's what I get with alcohol, like deep, scared of the dark shit for some reason, having not drank. I'm different now. Now what I get, so in the early days I had this low level but long-lasting discomfort. Now what I get is sudden, rapid, high-level bursts of discomfort that last seconds, maybe a few minutes, maybe the odd hour, maybe once, twice a week now, but they're fucking intense. And like almost suicidal intense, like boom, I'm like, okay, fuck it, let's get a cup of tea on, right? Let's go to the garage, let's fucking rack up enough weights, let's just do that, it's gonna go, it's gonna fucking go, it's gonna fucking go, it's gonna fucking go, and it goes. But it's gonna be there, fuck it, all right? It's gonna suck. Don't try and change everything at once, don't be a dick about it, all right? As I said, treat yourself like you're ill, remember? Look after yourself. Yeah, suck. There's value in stopping. Anything of value is difficult. There's loads I could talk about this, guys. I wish I had longer, but you're not going to watch the video anyway. It's fucking 20 minutes again. What a prick. And that's it. The last thing I'm going to say to you guys, I'm going to stop right now. Be humble with it. All right? Don't brag about it. A lot of people, this will kill, and the families will lose them forever. That could be you. So humility in your journey, remember it's your journey, not other people's journey, right? Fuck that, you can do it, I've done it, right? And I was fucking drinking a truck of alcohol, right? Honestly, I could drink myself sober, I've talked about it before. I would never go to sleep, I'd drink till like 2 in the morning, that kind of, I mean, I've talked about it. It's your journey, so be humble about it, all right? You know, allow yourself to be grateful for the fact that you can have a go at stopping drinking. And that you're not in hospital on a fucking liver ward or some shit like that, like I was going to, like you are going to probably. I'm not putting the frighteners on you, but if you're listening to this video, hit the comments, guys. Tell me whether it's useful. I'm just trying to be as open as I can about it, guys. Yeah, I've got a lot of people that say, hey, Tim, this channel used to be about aviation, but now it's like an AA fucking help group or whatever. It's like, look, I think we should help each other. I'm not selling a program. I don't have to put this shit out. It's embarrassing. I lose people from my school when I talk about alcohol and alcohol issues. I lose students from my school. I gain a few students, but I lose financially when I put a video out like this. All right? My subscriber count goes down, but I put it out there because I believe we've got to be helping each other out. You know how it is, guys, okay? Look, last thing I want to say, that I know it's a bit kind of weird, but I do wish you all the best on your journey. I've got a lot of love for you. I've been where you are before a year ago, and The comments is a great place for you to fucking write there your angst and your pain, and just hit those comments, all right? You know what I mean? And I will get back to you as best I can, all right, with that. Hey, best of luck, guys, all right? Happy New Year. Stay safe. And yeah, have a great one. Tim Davies, Fast Ship Performance.